it's the old PE teacher thing, isn't it? You know, when the PE teacher will go, right, I want you all to do 10 press-ups, but if you do 8, you know, then you're only cheating yourself, aren't you?
What are you talking about? Why would you lie to yourself and the world and everything? Why would you lie? You know, somebody else is lying. Why should you join in with that lie? It's ridiculous. It's absurd. Oh yeah, but the legal fees, it's going to cost you a fortune. This is fuck legal fees. Just do it yourself. If you're worried about legal fees, just do it yourself. And the court will probably take a nice view on that. If you're up there, you're a performer, you can talk in public, just do it yourself. Just go up there and say what happened and go to court and do it yourself. I've done that. In court, in the smallest of minutest courts. I got a ticket for. I had my girlfriend at the time was on my bicycle. It's a birthday. We're cycling around in London just on my bicycle, very slowly. And a policeman saw us, and he was like, "You're going to get off the bike?" I said, "Why?" He goes, "Oh, because you can't do that." I said, well, "Why not? It's a birthday. Why wouldn't I do that? We're having a nice time." Yeah. And he goes, "Well, it's illegal." I said, "So?" And he goes, "Right, I'm going to give you a ticket." I said, "Okay." He goes, "Well, I could give you a ticket." I said, "Go on then." Yeah. He goes, "I could give you a ticket." I said, "Go on then, give me a ticket." And he gave me a fucking ticket. So I went to court.
You won?
No. No, I didn't win. But it was a 30 quid ticket. I did win away. It was a 30 quid ticket, and I went to court. And I said, "Look, I got this ticket. I was on with my girlfriend, and we were two on a bicycle." And the judge went, "Well, is that illegal?" And I went, "Exactly." And he goes, because we used to do it all the time when I was a kid. Because yeah. And then the clerk of the court goes, No, Marno, it was made illegal in 1988. So he goes, "Oh." I said, "Yeah, well, I wanted to come talk to you about it because it just seemed silly." And he goes, "Oh, well, I'm afraid there's nothing I can do really. It is illegal, and I'm the judge. I'm the judge, so it's my job to uphold the law. So there's nothing I can really do is say, well, you have to be fined. I'm sorry." It does seem ridiculous to me, but there's nothing I can do. It's my job. So he goes.
And that's the point. I think and I also think with an audience, if they hear you do an old gag or something that's really a well-known joke from someone else, I think then they think the whole of your stuff's all nicked. The whole of it is stolen. So yeah, on the whole thing of it, if you nick a gag, don't you? If you nick several jokes, then there's going to be a chat. But I think if you nick someone's ting-a-ling-a-ling-ling, whatever a ting-a-ling-a-ling-ling is. I like ting-a-ling-a-ling. If you steal someone's thing, then I think, or a whole routine, then I think that's when I would be annoyed. I'd be like, oh, come on.
Yeah. What would you do if someone stole a whole routine?
Let's smash them. No, I wouldn't. I don't know, actually. It's an interesting question. I think you'd have to I think people would be told, where I'm concerned with what I do, I think people would tell them before I even saw it. People would be going, you're doing Terry's thing there.
So he goes, "Okay, fine, £60. Have you got anything to say?" I was like, "Well, one thing, just a little thing." I said, "Well, when I got the fine, I could have paid £30, but I chose to come and fight it here in court, and now I'm getting charged 60, which feels unfair because I've always come all the way here, and I could have paid £30 many months ago and just had done with it." He goes, "All right, can you pay the fine now in court afterwards?" I goes, "Yeah, I can pay it now. I've got the cash." He goes, "All right, £30. So I sort of won in my own little way, but I had to go all the way to Richmond.
No, the last Edinburgh we did, there was someone doing it, because I used to do this whole thing where I have a lot of thoughts, and I had all these thoughts coming out my head, obviously played off the iPad. And then later on, I'd call it all back by putting it on people's heads. You look like you have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
And then there was a comedian in Edinburgh, the last Edinburgh we did, before it all locked down.
Yeah.
He came up to me and he went, I think I've had my whole Edinburgh shows ruined because you do this thing where you put mics on heads. I went, "Oh yeah, I did that."
So, but he apologised.
Yeah, and he said, I said to him, it was Eric, and I said, "Look, I don't mind if you still want to do it. I'm not doing it anymore," and it wasn't the same thing. And I said, "Look, if you want to do that, it's a similar idea." But bless him, he went, "No, because if I do that," because he said, "I've already had people saying to me already, that's Terry's already done that." So I imagine for him, he was thinking, well, if I continue doing it, then everyone's going to be going, "Well, Terry's already done that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone does it to a larger or greater degree, a larger or lesser degree. I mean, I nicked one tonight. Everyone. I mean, even the greatest directors in the world say I was inspired by this guy, I was inspired by that guy, and they use certain techniques that they were inspired by. Writers say, yeah, this is my mentor, this is my, this is the guy I was inspired by, and then stand-ups go, no, it's all my stuff, I never nick anything from anybody, No, of course everyone's inspired by other people, or they borrow things, or they reuse them, or they change them, or they or they just directly nick them and refuse to admit it.
And there are times as well where you do a gag where you might be in a terrible situation, like doing some terrible corporate event, and there's a joke that would fit for a minute, and then you think you do that gag, and then whoever I did that gag from, I would be damned if I don't ring them or email them, go, listen, I did a corporate event last night, I was in a real pickle and I nicked your gag.
Yeah. I wasn't in a tight spot. I was in a tight spot quite a few months ago, and I just wasn't in the moment. I was just knew I was in a tight spot, and I just went, and there was some guy talking, and Dave McSavage got the best fucking hackle for that, the best thing for that. He goes, when you talk it, because it does really put someone's trying, and you try and do, and he puts you off your stride, and he goes, please. Don't talk. I've got AIDS. Right? It's great. So I use that because I've seen Dave a million times, and I just use that. But the very same night, I rang up Dave and said, "Look, Dave, I've got a confession." And he went, "Oh, you can have that. I don't care." But I don't use it. I said I use it sparingly. Obviously, I won't use it every day.
If you read Born Standing Up, which I think is the Bible of comedy, by Steve Martin. There's so many brilliant secrets in that, but I can't tell you them. You've got to find them yourself. Otherwise, they're not going to work for you. And they're so obvious. But one of them actually is about if he ever sniffed that he would do a joke that is similar to anyone's, it's gone. It's gone. As soon as he would see anyone do something similar to an idea he'd come up with, he wouldn't do it anymore. But unfortunately, his whole originality, he went off and then did Bilko, didn't he? And he did flipping Pink Panther, which really annoyed me. I was like, because you've had Silver's here, you had Sellers, didn't you? And then you had Steve Martin, all on the same panel on the plinth there, and then he just put himself underneath all of them by doing that.
Also, there's one case, there's another one, where a tenant who hadn't paid rent to me, because I'm a landlord, hadn't paid rent for 6 or 7 months or 8 months, so he'd stopped paying rent, and then he tried to sue me. Yeah. Sue me for more money, saying I hadn't kept the studio up to scratch. So he said took it to court, and then he said, look, I'll take £1,000, that's fine. I'll take it out of court. If you want to settle out of court, I was like, no, I'm not settling out of court. I'm going to court, So and I got really stressed out about it. I did a huge thing. I really got all the documents together, and I got everything. In the end, I had like a wad of, I had loads of papers. And then I turned up to court, and then the first one, he went, because I want to, can I delay this court? He goes, can I delay this court? He goes, but the judge went, but you're the plaintiff. Right, the plaintiff usually always pushes to get it done as quickly as possible. And I was like, I was very nervous the first one. Took my massive, I had like a file. I spent fucking weeks on this thing. It was ridiculous. And then I went to court the next time. And then, then he didn't turn up.
Hey, you won.
And I went away, boof, I went on this thing, and the judge goes, is that just for this case? I goes, yeah. I was mad, so mad. And then I got really OCD about it. And then he goes, well, he's not here, so it's in your favour. So I told Darius to represent himself. So I've represented myself 3 times in court, and every time I've done it, I've got less nervous. The first time you do it, you're very nervous because it's court, and you feel the pressure's so on, But when you've done 2 or 3, you feel a bit more relaxed about it. And the court, I think, takes a good view that you represent it yourself, because they can see, you're the little man, and you haven't got a big lawyer. You're here, on your wits, and you're going to present the evidence to the best of your ability. And the court, I think, takes a good view of that. So that's what I said to Darius, just, go and represent yourself. If you're worried about legal fees, don't pay legal fees. Just go and do it and tell them what happened, and the judge will decide on the merit of your arguments, you know, and you probably argue quite well.
Boy, stand up, you want to read that book.
Yeah,
In fact, and when I was listening to that, it's when I started doing all the, what are we doing, all that mad shit, and I thought, I wasn't sure that I should be doing that, and then I read that book, or listened to it, funny enough, and then I've also found Andy Kaufman, and that was the point I went, right, I am doing the right thing by doing my own thing, you know.